Good evening everyone and welcome to BSRTV for this race 19 at the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We've reached the 1/5 mark of this epic season, which will be going all the way through to December. Well, I'm Adam Bath and alongside me is Alex Simpson. Alex, good evening. We're at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the road course, and I think we're going to be in for some great racing tonight.
Yeah, great road circuit actually. Those, probably familiar with it out there from the rookie days, and I've run some rookie leagues where this track turns up. It actually is a really good circuit. Keep an eye out for some course cutting. I think just real discernible curbs out there, so it's just sort of painted lines on the surface in the infield there here at Charlotte. And yeah, last season we saw quite a few people get caught out with those corner cuts, and of course we need to pay close attention to turn one as well. Many a driver fell a victim to that tricky turn one and into the wall. So easy to find yourself with pretty much race-ending damage there as well. So yeah, it's going to be a great race for sure, and long oval section once again for people to draft up and get overtakes. So almost the same as last week, but not quite.
Well, let's take a look at the championship standings going into race 19. Wojciech Savidovic, the season 6 champion, is at the top of the standings on 1,617. Andreas Katz is 184 points back, and Jamie Rushworth is 20 points behind Katz in 3rd. David Baker is in 4th with Simon Field in 5th. Stelian Chepalevsky is in 6th with Ella Stevens in 7th, Lee Thompson in 8th. John Roberts in 9th, topping the AM standings, and in 10th place it's Alex Smolensky. 11th is Tim Mawson, 12th is Daniel Hunt, 13th Steve Walker, 14th Paul Smith, 15th Pete Newman, Stanimir Zuzov in 16th, Robert Plumley in 17th, Scott Malcolm is in 18th, Ben Palmer in 19th, and Stephen Burke is in 20th. Alex, Wojciech Savidovic atop the standings by nearly 200 points. However, he hasn't taken part in qualifying. Will be starting in 35th place. It's going to be hard for him to hold on to that points gap tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think we've seen Speedway in the past start from down there and work his way up through there. So yeah, might not quite get to the front for this race, but he's going to be in a strong position for the second. So I think he should actually be able to pick up some really decent points. Like you say, nearly 200 points out front, and also looking at where he starts the sort of the showdown with as well. I mean, he's already got 29 points to start with, so he's 13 points clear on that as well, with being how many podiums he's already got. So yeah, looking really good for Speedway. Long way to go though. The AM Championship looking a whole lot closer as well. Top 3 covered by 108 points, so pretty close there. John Roberts, Tim Mawson, Paul Smith. So that's we're going to have to pay a little bit of attention, I think, to the AM Championship, because that looks like it's going to go all the way.
Through the team standings as well, they also run in the team's championship events as well, which we've had so far this season at Donington Park. So that's why they've done 20 races. Engine Oils Direct are top of the standings there by 400 points over Volatile Element, with GT Omega in 3rd, Powermaxed in 4th, Oculus 360 in 5th, Apex Racing TV in 6th, Pete Newman Media in 7th, Laser Tools in 8th, Team OGR in 9th, and Team Carnage in 10th. And that all means, if we look at the showdown standings, which is what's going to happen at the end of the season, Wojciech Savidovic, Andreas Katz, Jamie Rushworth, Simon Field, Ellis Stevens, Stelian Chepalevsky, Lee Thompson, David Baker, Alex Smolensky and John Roberts will all qualify for the showdown. And outside of the top 10, the drivers that have won the most races will be Pete Newman and Sebastian Joe. Pete Newman winning 1 race and Sebastian Joe winning 3. So it's going to be interesting, Alex. Those drivers outside the top 10, it's all about the wins for them to get into that showdown.
Yeah, exactly. Seb's doing a great job with 3 right now, slowly working his way up the championship as well. Interesting, he's just not been able to he hasn't turned up to all of the races, and I think that's really what set him back a little bit. But I think with the amount of time that's left in this championship, going to see him raise himself up into the top 10 anyway. So I think we might see somebody else pick up that spot for outside the top 10 for him. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that all pans out. Long way away from that, but actually it's a nice little twist to it, and it's interesting to see the drivers take. We had a couple of chats with people in the past, and they were saying, just trying to clock up those podium positions if they can, so that they've got some good points in the bag for when that switches over.
Well, qualifying's just unfolding at the moment. Stelian Chepelevsky is atop the qualifying standing, so Andreas Katz in second, Sebastian Job in third, Daniel Hunt in fourth, Jamie Rushworth in fifth, Simon Field is in sixth, Alex Smolensky seventh, David Baker is in eighth, Laura Bond in ninth, and Ben Palmer rounds out the top 10. Close at the moment now, Alex, as the checkered flag is being waved. The top 15 separated by 1 second, which surely means we're going to be in for some close racing, especially on the oval, where it's going to be so easy to get a slipstream.
Yeah, it's going to be a good race actually, and like you say, I think the infield section might spread the people out just a little bit, but that huge straightaway oval section, the pack's going to close right back up. And from my memory of last year's race, just remember actually the packs were pretty massive for the best part of the whole race as well. So it's going to be it's going to be good.
Here at the moment at Andreas Katz, who I think is on a hot lap. He is only 0.05 of a second away from Stelian Chepelevsky as he works his way up onto the banking. However, I don't think he's got a slipstream, so it's going to be hard for him to improve on his lap time, and I think he won't be able to improve it at all really as he heads into NASCAR turn 3. No one to help him, Alex, and I'm sure that's going to hinder his lap time as he comes off the final corner now.
Yeah, we'll have a quick look. Actually pulls it in, so it's just not going to happen, not going to improve, so he doesn't worry about it. So yeah, that will be qualifying all but done and dusted, I think, Adam.
Certainly looks like it, yeah. So let's run you through our starting lineup then for the first race of the evening. On pole position, Stelian Chepelevsky with a lap time of 107.738, and alongside him on the front row will be Andreas Katz, 107.786. Sebastian Job is in third, with Daniel Hunt in fourth, only 5 thousandths of a second separating Sebastian Job and Daniel Hunt. Fifth is Jamie Rushworth, is Simon Field in sixth. Seventh is Alex Smolensky with David Baker in eighth. Ben Palmer is in ninth, and Laura Bond rounds out the top 10. 11th is Ellis Stevens with Richard Gore in 12th. Stephen Burke is in 13th with Robert Graham in 14th. 15th is Julian Janowski with Jay Wright in 16th. Richard Wild is in 17th. Daniel Kraft is in 18th. Andrew Whitehead in 19th. And Mark Johnston rounds out the top 20. 21st is Lee Thompson. He's in the top 10 in the standings, so not a good qualifying by him in the Apex Racing TV car. 22nd is Stanimir Zuzov with Robert Plumley in 23rd. Steve Walker is in 24th. Rob Fagg, 25th. Pete Newman, 26th. Not a good qualifying for him either. He's currently 15th in the standings. We're hoping to keep inside the showdown with all those wins. 26th is Paul Smith. Sorry, 26th is Pete Newman, 27th is Paul Smith, Scott Malcolm 28th, Lee Berridge 29th, Steve Richardson 30th, 31st Colin Steele, 32nd Eckhart von Glan, 33rd John Roberts, and the cars that failed to set a time in qualifying, Tim Mawson, Wojciech Savidovic, big name there, Steve Hefford and Martin Brandon. Alex, turn 1 at Charlotte Motor Speedway is notorious, as you were saying, last season, a lot of contacts in there with 37 or so cars going into that first corner. It's certainly going to be very difficult. I'm anticipating really a rolling start here for the first race.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what we're going to have. And actually, I think, if I remember correctly, I think we'll have to have rolling starts for the second, third races as well because of the camber on the track. So yeah, I just think the cars just don't get away off the line properly. I remember last time the cars were just sliding down the track. So I think if memory serves, the admins will probably have rolling starts on all 3 races. Just waiting for the session to finish up and tick over. Hopefully, yeah, just having perhaps a little driver's briefing or something right now before that does that. But just want to give a quick shout out to our co-commentator who quite possibly is on a plane or maybe just stepping off the plane at the moment. Andrew is heading over to America. So if any of you, the usual followers, wonder where he's at, but yeah, so he's having a nice little holiday, just flying over to America. I believe he's going to New York, so rather nice for some.
Yes, indeed. Let's run you through the rest of the schedule over the next few weeks here in the BSRTC Championship. Next week, we head to Virginia International Raceway, a completely different kettle of fish, that racetrack, before heading to an even different type of track, Okayama, and then we have a team race on the 4th of June, Alton Park at the Island Circuit, before we head on a week break, and then we're back at Twin Ring Motegi. I think that's the first time we'll be at that racetrack, and then after that, Road Atlanta, before on the 2nd of July we are back with 5-car teams at Silverstone Historic. Then in 9th of July we're heading to Summit Point, Lime Rock, Laguna Seca, and Mid-Ohio at the end of July. So quite a variety of tracks, Alex, and it's going to be hard for these guys to set up the cars.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, those little short tracks all in that middle of the championship there. So different sort of style to what we've had of recent weeks, which have been very sort of open and flowing, lots of overtaking opportunities. So yeah, certainly going to spice up the racing, making overtaking very hard. Even the large draft effect that we get, it's going to be fairly minimised at those tracks. So it's all going to be out really good qualifying positions, I think, and lucky rolls of the dice.
Indeed, for those of you that are new to the BSRTC, we'll be having a reverse grid dice at the end of race 1 and race 2 to determine the grid for races 2 and 3. The cars 15 to 25th will be eligible for that, and of course that always spices up the action. We're going down to the grid now. The safety cars at the front of the pack. That shows it's going to be a rolling start for this first race of the evening. Alex, even though it's race 1 and it's usually the calmest race of the 3, as it's an oval, I think it's going to be all bets are off really for who's going to win this one.
Yeah, I think you're right. Last week out, obviously the full oval at Pocono, and even that first race, that was actually quite calm there as well. It was great to watch, and but yeah, we just couldn't tell who was going to win. And I think much like there at Pocono, this Charlotte road course is going to be very, very similar.
Well, let's take you through the results from Pocono last time around. Race 1, Jamie Rushworth won that race. He's starting 5th on the grid for today's race. Wojciech Swidovic finished in 2nd. I'll be very surprised if he's able to get up there in race 1. And Ellis Stevens in 3rd. In race 2, Simon Field took the race win, with Wojciech Swidovic taking another 2nd place, showing how consistent he is, with David Baker in 3rd. And then in race 3, we saw Andreas Katz take a victory, with Sebastian Job in 2nd and David Baker in 3rd. So it was good to see Sebastian Job in race 3 at Pocono, Alex, have a good race 3, because usually in other race meetings he's usually good in race 1 and race 2, and then usually gets shuffled back in the reverse grid races.
Yeah, he had an absolute shocker in the first race last week, and none of his fault actually. I think he was having a little battle with Swidovic, and Swidovic lost it coming out of the final turn there, and was heading to a very early exit. Unfortunately, Sebastian was just to his left, and he bounced off of Sebastian, recovered his car, and sent Sebastian into the wall. So yeah, it's just a bit of reversal, I think, for Seb. His race 2 and 3 were pretty good, but the first race was terrible, and yeah, managed to save Swidovic, which is probably the last thing he wanted to do.
Well, the cars then on their pace lap for this first race of the evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. As you can see, we head through a left-hander and then another long left-hander before we head to this double apex right-hander. Is there really any overtaking spots on this infield section, Alex, or do you think this is part of the racetrack where the guys will be setting each other up before we head onto the banking?
Yeah, I think you can make a little move down into this right-hander here. It is particularly tricky. Most will probably be a bit patient and get a run into turn 1. Yeah, certainly there's the opportunity for some sort of too-wide action around here, and you can of course defend around the outside because you then have the inside for this left-hander here coming back onto the oval. Got to watch out for the catch fence, as Stillian just gets a little bit of smoke there. Yeah, just as we see them coming back on the track, you've got that fence there, and it's so easy just to run a little bit wide and get caught in there. So we saw that a few times last season, and I dare say we're going to see it once or twice tonight as well.
I have memories of going in the catch fence in the Mazda MX-5, so it's possible in there. In that race series, I'm sure it's going to be possible in the BSRTC. The guys just now forming up into their rows here on the banking. We're just coming off of NASCAR Turn 2 now and heading down the back straight. Alex, we were just saying how unpredictable it was, but can you call a winner for this first race?
Oh, I wouldn't like to say, actually. I think yeah, it'd be a fool that would lay any kind of money down for this race. That grid is so close, it's crazy.
I might put my bets on Jamie Rushworth. He's starting in 5th. See if he can do that. Heading our way through NASCAR Turn 3 now. 17 laps around this Charlotte Motor Speedway. And in a moment the pace car will turn left and will be underway. It's now up to Stelian Chepelevsky to judge the pace. And then when the green lights go on, we'll be ready to go. Here we go then. Safety car off. And race 19 at the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship is underway.
Bit of a late start there for Stelian. I think he sort of went and sort of checked up a little bit there, and then all of a sudden he just sort of was holding the pack again. But seems like a pretty clean start. Everybody's through turn 1 nice and safe. Sebastian having a little look on Stelian, but just waiting for the field just on my timing sheet to step up. But it looks like actually Cat's got up and passed in turn 1 there around the outside, so Stelian just a little bit hesitant, I think, there.
It looks like everyone's been able to make it through the first few corners without incident. Andreas Katz now leading the race. Stelian Chepelevsky being a bit cautious through the first few corners, and that's allowing Sebastian Jobe to close in as we head onto the banking for the first time. Jeremy Rushworth has just dropped a bit back from the rest of those guys, and you can't really afford to do that in the opening few laps, Alex, otherwise you will lose the slipstream.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll come under pressure from Daniel Hunt, who's just behind him right now, very, very quickly. I think if those two start battling, they'll lose that draft quickly to the top 3, and we've seen how easy it is for little breakaway packs to start to form, and that could well happen again already.
Yeah, he's already a second behind as we come around to complete the first lap, and Chepelevsky is now right on the back of Andreas Katz, and I'm sure we're going to see this throughout the night. And just as we were saying that Jamie Rushworth had fallen back, he's now only 0.3 of a second behind Sebastian Jobe, so it all bunches up as we head through the infield section. And we've got a car of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost 20 or so cars through that first few corners. That's fantastic to see as we head now into this triple right-handed section of the racetrack, over the top of this crest and then down into this valley almost, and then back out onto the banking as Jamie Rushworth closing in on Sebastian Jobe onto the banking. Let's see if we can get any moves done, because as Jamie Rushworth is looking pretty close to Sebastian Jobe as we come out of NASCAR Turn 2, Alex.
Yeah, we're just looking back from Sebastian at the moment, seeing how quickly Jamie's getting on. Actually doesn't look like he's closing up all that fast, so Seb's just getting enough of a draft to the from the cars up front to be able to hold on to that. Stelian getting very close to Katz, almost pushing him around the oval section. No attempted move. Has a little look maybe around the outside, but nothing coming there. And actually Daniel Hunt had a little clip of Rushworth, I thought there, but there was Simon Field also got a little bit out of shape. Let's just take that back and just have a quick look, see what happened there. Just looking at the replay now, this is going through the oval section. Field was a long way back. I'm not really sure why he had to make some evasive action. We saw him wide through turn 1. Let's just have a look, see if we can catch. Everybody's just checking up, and yeah, actually it looked like it did look like Hunt tagged Jamie just a tiny little bit, sent him out into Field, and Field had to get right out of it to avoid sort of any major incident. Everyone survived. Field dropped down to 8th place though.
Yeah, Summerfield now behind David Baker in 7th place. Working our way down the back straight once again into NASCAR Turn 3. Stelian Chepelevsky really close now to Andreas Katz. He's almost going to go into the back of him nearly, and he looks down the inside. There's contact between the two leaders, unbelievable, and he's going to come back onto the track, and that's a huge incident, and it involves Sebastian Jobe. Jamie Rushworth might have got a bit of that as well. Who's in the lead now? It's Andreas Katz still. Is he? Surely he's got to slow down after going onto the grass. Who is now? Ben Palmer side by side with Andreas Katz, but Katz will grimly hold on to the lead. Daniel Hunt in 3rd, Jamie Rushworth still in 4th place, David Baker in 5th. Wow, Alex, we didn't expect that at the end of lap number 3. Stelian Chepelevsky just going down the inside of Andreas Katz, and all hell breaking loose.
Yeah, let's have a quick look at that back on replay as well, because not quite far enough. Because yeah, that's going to shape this race quite dramatically. Those two were very, very quick out front, so just Stelian just getting the run. Now this is through the straight section. Seb goes up the top, sort of takes Stelian with him, and they get a run through the final oval turn there. It's covering the inside. He looks to try and get down. Look, we switched to a terrible camera angle. And yeah, not at all. And Seb's actually upside down, manages to recover it. I don't know if he's got some pretty major damage. He has. He's trying to hold on to the car out there. You can see it wobbling all over the place coming out of the corner. But he was upside down at one point there as well. So yeah, not good. And looks like he's actually might be coming into the pits right now in live time. He is indeed.
Ben Palmer was 6th before that incident happened, and now he's up into 2nd place and was battling with Andreas Katz whilst that replay was unfolding. However, he's now still in 2nd place. Daniel Hunt wants a bit of that action as well. He's in 3rd. Jamie Rushworth now in 4th. David Baker in 5th. Simon Field in 6th. Alex Malensky in 7th. Stephen Burke in 8th. Laura Bond in 9th. And Daniel Kraft rounds out the top 10. Stelian Chepelevsky, I can tell you, has returned to the pits. I think is he still going? No, he's out of the race. So he's just resuming from the pit road now with, it looks like, a new car. So Stelian Chepelevsky back on the racetrack. I'm sure he is a lap down, and Sebastian Job is currently on the racetrack as well. I think he's just resumed after a new car as well. But as we head onto NASCAR back straight once again, Andreas Katz still holding on to the lead. He was 700ths ahead of Ben Palmer last time around. They're going to be side by side as they come across the line. No, just not enough space for Ben Palmer to get through, and that now allows Jamie Rushworth to go around the outside. Is there going to be enough room for the Season 4 champion to get past the Engine Oils Direct car? Round this long left-hander they go. Jamie Rushworth on the inside now of Ben Palmer, and through he goes. So Jamie Rushworth into 2nd place, Ben Palmer down to 3rd, and that means that Ben Palmer will be into the clutches of Daniel Hunt. But Ben Palmer doesn't look intent in staying in 3rd place for long. He is definitely on the back of the Power Max car of Jamie Rushworth as we head through this right-hander.
Yeah, I thought for a minute Ben was going to get the run back into that right-hander there, but decided to settle down and wait for it. I'm hearing some sort of contact further back. Might be Colin Steele. Yeah, Colin Steele on his roof right now. What was that all about? Let's find out what happened to the Laser Tools driver there. As we just take a look at the replay, approaching turn 1, everything seems fine. Oh, he runs a little bit deep there, so manages to keep out of the wall. He's got, who is that? It's one of the Carnage cars right behind him at the moment. Oh yeah, just gets just takes it into the just gets hit from the side there and just pushed straight into the Armco and turned upside down. So yeah, disaster there for Colin Steele. Sure the admins will have to take a look at that one because that ain't mustard.
Yeah, not good by Colin Steele. Jamie Rushworth now right on the back of Andreas Katz. He wasn't too close to him last time around due to the battling he had with Ben Palmer, but it's now 0.2 of a second between Andreas Katz and Jamie Rushworth. Ben Palmer keeping a watchful eye in 3rd, Daniel Hunt in 4th, and then this front 4 have started to move away. We've got Scott Malcolm and Martin Brandon in the pit lane. I don't know what's happened between those guys, but they must have had some sort of contact because they're now back in the pits as we head on to the back straight. Andreas Katz has now got just a bit of a cushion over Jamie Rushworth, and I'm sure that will prevent Jamie from getting too close to him this time around. However, Ben Palmer looks definitely racy now.
Oh dear. I'm just watching the replay of Scott Malcolm, and yeah, I hate to say it, but I think this might be a bit of post retaliation from what happened to Colin Steele, because Laser Tools car getting into the Carnage car there into turn 1 looked pretty yeah, didn't look good at all. Both of them out, one on their roof. I might be wrong, but yeah.
While you're looking at the replay, Jamie Rushworth down to 3rd place. He tried to get the move done on Andreas Katz going into the first corner, and Ben Palmer was very opportunistic and was able to go down the inside into turn 2, and he managed to take that 2nd place away from Jamie Rushworth, who's now trying to fend off Daniel Hunt. So Andreas Katz, he's managing to hold on to this lead because we've got a fantastic battle going on for 2nd place.
Yeah, once again, Rushworth trying to get past Ben Palmer. Not happening so far.
See if Daniel Hunt can get the move done on Jamie Rushworth this time around as we head into NASCAR 3. He sets up a high line on the entry, but then ducks back down to the inside line so we can get the best possible speed on the exit of the corner. Ben Palmer is also pretty close to Andreas Katz as well as we come across the line and in towards turn 1. He takes a wide entry into the corner so we can get the best possible run, and he's going to be right on the back of the Oculus car as we head through this long left-hander at turn 2 and then into this double right-hander at turns 3 and 4. Not close enough to get anything done there, and in fact that's allowed Jamie Rushworth and Daniel Hunt to close in as well as we head down this short shoot of a straightaway before heading into this right-hander. The two Pete Newman media cars battling in the background as well. That's Stephen Burke and Daniel Kraft. Kraft through into 7th place with Stephen Burke down to 8th. That battle going on right there as we head through onto the NASCAR banking once again. Daniel Hunt trying to get past Jamie Rushworth, but I think we could see quite a few positions change this time around on the banking, Alex.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll just keep an eye on Daniel Hunt. He definitely looks like the one who probably got the most chance to make a move, although Jamie's starting to pick up a little bit of toe from Ben Palmer as well, so should be safe for another time. It's interesting each lap actually how these four all close back up under the braking, so perhaps some different setups there, working each with just a little bit more confident than the next on the braking zone. So Jamie looks very good through there actually. Got such a, perhaps a little bit slow, although he's under pressure this time. Daniel Hunt got a great turn 1 and there's contact ahead.
Traffic, I think it was Scott Malcolm, and he rejoined the track and now Ben Palmer's been hit. Let me just see who that back marker was, because I was hoping it wouldn't get involved in the race, and it is, who's that, number 74. Number 74 is that on my tongue screen. I think that's Scott Malcolm, is it? Not Alex. It is Scott Malcolm. Unbelievable, he takes out Ben Palmer.
Is that just cold tyres or something like that coming out of the pits? It just looks like he lost the rear end, panicked with the leaders coming up behind him, spun straight into the traffic, and Katz managed to survive. That man's been the luckiest man on the racetrack this race. I mean, that's 2 instances he's just got away with there, but yeah, Ben Palmer out, so
battle for second now, fighting Jamie Rushworth versus Daniel Hunt. Hunt's got the inside line as they come across the line, but he's not ahead yet. It's all going to be about the braking, and Jamie Rushworth I think will have just enough to hold on as we head through turn 1 and now through the long left-hander at turn 2. Jamie Rushworth just holding on in second place. That certainly shaped up the order, and I'm sure we'll be seeing some post-race discussions between Ben Palmer and Scott Malcolm. They're coming up on more traffic now. Who's that in front of Andreas Katz? Another Laser Tools car. That is Colin Steele, and hopefully he gets out of the way and doesn't get involved in the lead battle. Simon Field also continuing to put pressure on David Baker as well as we head through the left-hander onto the banking. Colin Steele moving up high. That should be good enough to get out of the way of Andreas Katz as we head down out of NASCAR 2 now. Simon Field's definitely shaping up David Baker for 4th place.
Yeah, looking very, very racy going to the high line. Baker just covering that off, didn't want to get boxed in there behind the Carnage car there, so Baker, we haven't spoke much about Baker today. He's had a fairly quiet race, but doing well, 4th place, still only just the 1.1 second behind the leader, so still within with an opportunity to win this race. 6 laps to go.
Look at the lap times last time around, however they aren't really effective due to the slipstream at this racetrack. Andreas Katz 108.8, Jamie Rushworth 108.5, Daniel Hunt 108.5 as well, so they are closing in on Andreas Katz. 3 tenths of a second quicker last time around, the Power Max car and the GT Omega car, and 5.5 laps to go. There is still plenty of time for Jamie Rushworth to get to Andreas Katz. Just running through the rest of the order, Stephen Burke is in 6th with Daniel Kraft in 7th, so Peter Newman Media Cars in 5th, 6th and 7th so far. 8th Alex Malensky. Old car off, and I think it was the catch fence playing their part again. Yeah,
Stephen Burke, let's just take a quick look at that on replay, see exactly what happened to Steve there. He perhaps just got his line a little bit wrong there, he's a bit tight in compared to what he would have wanted, yeah, and he's running out wide, just got 2 wheels onto the dust there, and he's lucky not to have got completely tangled up in the catch fence, but got a lot of damage on the right hand side of that gear, and I think he's going to need a pit stop. We'll see. I think he's gone through. I'm looking at the live time, but it's set him back down. He's in 16th place right now, and he is into the pits.
let's run you through the rest of the order then. After that incident, Alex Malensky in 7th, Ellis Stevens in 8th, Laura Bond in 9th, Julian Janowski in 10th, Mark Johnston 11th, Steve Walker 12th, Pete Newman in 13th. Wojciech Savidovic, after starting first in the 30s, he's up to 14th, Robert Plumley 15th, Jay Wright 16th, Richard Wild 17th, Lee Berridge in 18th, Stanimir Zuzov in 19th, and Paul Smith rounds out the top 20. Top 3 starting to get a bit separated now. We've got 7/10 of a second between Andreas Katz and Jamie Rushworth. And then it's another 7/10 of a second back to Daniel Hunt in 3rd, David Baker in 4th, Simon Field in 5th. So really the closest battle we've got on track at the moment is between Daniel Kraft in 6th, who's having a bit of connection issues there, and Alex Malensky. And those two are definitely shaping each other up now as we head down through into NASCAR 3. So Malensky on the high line in that yellow and blue OGR car, just heading back behind Daniel Kraft to pick up a slipstream, and he's going to cut to the inside. That is allowed on this NASCAR racetrack, and Smolensky just can't find a way through as we head over the line. Well, he certainly showed his intentions there, Alex, and I think he definitely wants that 6th place from Daniel Kraft.
Smolensky was quick here last season as well. I'm trying to remember, I believe he picked up a win, had one taken away from him as well, but yeah, he was very, very quick, and you can see that we haven't seen too much of him this season, but up there in 7th place right now, wants to see if he can get into get 6th place off of Kraft, although top 5 a little bit further up the road, so I think 6 is about the best he's going to manage today.
Thanks to the slipstream, the people at the front have started to close in on each other once again. Jamie Rushworth still 0.8 of a second behind Andreas Katz. However, Daniel Hunt's only 0.4 of a second behind, as is David Baker behind Daniel Hunt. So we could have a battle for 2nd place on our hands in the not too distant future. We're coming off a NASCAR turn 4 now. Alex Malensky also still with Daniel Kraft, not close enough to make a move. So many battles to watch on this racetrack as we now got 3 laps to go. Daniel Hunt right on the back of Jamie Rushworth, and
Richard Wild and Jay Wright as well. Wild's up the inside, he will get that move done. Steve Walker, oh, we got that Laser Tools car slow on the inside there. Steve Walker needs a new pair of underwear because he had to get out of that turn and cars have come flying around the outside of him. That was Mark Johnston that come flying around the outside there.
Mark Johnston up into 10th. He's managed to get past Julian Janowski. And he's going to be under pressure from Steve Walker for 12th. Moore missed a bit of contact there, maybe not between him and Steve Walker, but that battle for 12th place is definitely intense now as we head into the left-hander before heading onto the banking. Julian Janowski doing a good job of keeping his car in 11th place. However, Steve Walker's got such a good run on the exit as we head onto the banking, and surely they're going to be side by side as we head down the back straight. And I think the person sitting pretty here is Pete Newman, because he knows he can get through on the inside line there, and I think Steve Walker is hung out to dry, and he might be able to get, and Pete Newman might be able to get 12th place, 11th place away from Julian Janowski here as we head through NASCAR turn 4.
Oh, there's a little break there from Janowski, I think that was. But Pete Newman managed to get through both of them on that straightaway. So, like you say, he was perfect, and actually a great undercut from Walker. They just cut back there into turn 1 and actually got Janowski as well. So good driving from Walker. Or at least he managed to pick up that position. Oh, runs a little bit wide, maybe loses that place back. Tries to go defensive. It's too late though. Janowski's already up the inside. Walker's going to run in a bit deep there, and he's going to lose several places. Rob Plumley just a couple seconds back. Doesn't quite get through. There's a back marker in between them, fortunately, so just managed to save Walker, but who did get through was Wojciech Savidovic. Savidovic up into 13th place. We said it'd be a tough job for him to get to the front, but he might get himself in a good position. Back up front, it's looking very, very close. It's Jamie Rushworth just 1/10 of a second behind Andreas Katz as everybody just blinks on the server for a moment. Daniel Hunt as well, side by side with that's Field. Field's got the high ground, I think.
Yeah,
he will have into the inside corner. Just although Dan Hunt looking to fight back here on the inside straight away. Did say this would be an opportunity. And I think he's going to get that back. Field probably hold it round there. He'll have the inside, this left-hander. Now Hunt's got to be careful of that catch fence on the left-hand side. Field is very fair there, doesn't push him out at all as they bump onto the oval section.
Wow, Daniel Hunt almost ended up in the barrier there, but he just managed to hold on. Simon through into fourth, and Jamie Rushworth, whilst he was looking close to Andreas Katz last time around, I don't think he's going to have enough to get to the Oculus 360 car and mount a challenge. So Jamie Rushworth from 5th on the grid to 2nd, good race from him, but it's the pole sitter of second place on the grid, Andreas Katz, who comes through to take victory in race 1 of the evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Jamie Rushworth in 2nd, David Baker comes across the line in 3rd place from 8th on the grid, good result from him. Simon Field in 4th, Daniel Hunt in 5th, 6th across the line, I think, has come Daniel Kraft. Where is he? Is it? Yes. No, Smolenski got 6th in the end, just as they came across the line. Smolenski up into 6th, Daniel Kraft 7th, Lord Bond in 8th, Ellis Stevens in 9th. 10th place was Pete Newman, 11th is Mark Johnston, 12th as he comes across the line it is Robert Plumley, I think. 13th Richard Wild, 14th Jay Rice, 15th Sebastian Joe. Have we lost Wojciech Savidovic? I think we have. 16th is Lee Berridge, 17th Stanimir Zuzov, 18th it is John Roberts, 19th Stelian Shepelevsky after that contact on lap number 3, Stephen Burke in 20th, Rob Fagg 21st, 22nd it is Eckhart von Glan as the positions are continuing to change. 23rd is Eckhart von Glan, 24th Stephen Burke, 25th Julian Janowski, 26th Andrew Whitehead, 27th a lap down Paul Smith, 28th Richard Gore, 29th Wojciech Savidovic. He was 13th the last time we checked upon him, Alex, so it'll be interesting to see what happened to Savidovic there. He finished in 29th place, 30th Robert Graham, 31st Steve Walker, 30...
Sorry.
I wonder if there was a bit of contact between him and Steve Walker, because those two were in and amongst that position towards the end of the race. Colin Steele 33rd, Martin Brandon and the likes a few laps down. So let's find out what happened to Wojciech Savidovic.
Yeah, let me just see if I can find that actually.
Might be out of fuel, I think. He's coming through the first few corners and he's going awfully slowly.
Got an off track here.
He gets drive again and then just stops. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, not really sure there. So I don't see anything on the replay. So
he made a visit to pit road as well before he stops. Just trying to look back. There's been a crash. Knew something must have happened. It's between him and Mark Johnston, and I think that was just after we left him in the coverage as well. He's heading down the back straight out of NASCAR turn 2. He's going to go down the inside of Mark Johnston, but Janowski does not give him Janowski just does not give him enough room, and him and Steve Walker go flying into the air. Have we been able
that's
to
a
get
shame from no, unfortunately it didn't involve an off track, which is the only thing our highlights thing sort of jumps to. Doesn't pick up the core contacts. Hopefully that's something they can work on, because it'd be good to review those instances. But it was looking good actually for him, but he's outside of the top 25 as well, or top 26 sorry, so we won't even get an opportunity for a reverse grid, so he's going to have all that hard work to do again.
So then time for the reverse grid for the second race, cars 15 to 26, isn't it, once again? So Sebastian Joe 15th, Lee Berridge 16th, Stanimir Zuzov 17th, John Roberts 18th, Stelian Shepelevsky 19th, Rob Fagg 20th, 21st Ben Palmer, Steve Richardson 22nd, Eckhart von Glan 23rd, 24th Stephen Burke 25th, Andrew Whitehead in 26th. Despite that contact with Wojciech Savidovic, it is Julian Janowski. So who's going to be on pole for the race 20, Alex?
To our dummy rolls, get them out of the way. Seen a big mixture in those rolls, so pole position is going to go to 24th, almost a full one.
Stephen Burke. So Stephen Burke will be on pole position with Eckhart von Glan alongside him. Steve Richardson in 3rd, Ben Palmer in 4th. After he was cruelly taken out by Scott Malcolm, and then in 5th place it will be Rob Fagg. Stelian Shepelevsky starting 6th on the grid, so it'll be a bit of redemption possibly for him in the second race. However, Alex, a fantastic first race, great to see slipstreaming going on in the pack, and I really think we're going to be in for some really good the second and third races.
Yeah, I think we will. I think it's going to be great. Steve Burke perhaps disappointed with himself running into that catch fence, but he'll be out in his lucky stars right now, because he's on position for the next race and's got a great opportunity. He looked particularly quick. He was in and around sort of 6th and 7th for a lot of that race, fighting with his Peak New Media teammate there for a bit as well. So we know he's got the pace. He'll be on the front row now, and yeah, let's see what he can do with that.
Okay, the second race is coming your way very shortly. We're going to step aside for a few moments here on BSR TV, and we'll be back in a few moments for race 20 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to BSRTV for this race 20 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Adam Bapp, Alex Simpson back with you once again for the second race of the evening. Let's run you through the classified results then from race 1, which happened just a few moments ago. Andreas Katz took the win, 0.6 of a second ahead of Jamie Rushworth. Third was David Baker. Fourth was Simon Field. Fifth, Daniel Hunt. Sixth, Alex Walensky. Seventh, Daniel Kraft. 8th, Laura Bond. 9th, Ellis Stevens. Pete Newman rounding out the top 10. 11th, Mark Johnston. 12th, Robert Plumley. 13th, Richard Wild. 14th, Jay Wright. 15th, Sebastian Job. 16th, Lee Beveridge. 17th, Stanimir Zuzov. 18th, John Roberts. Selin Chepelewski in 19th. And in 20th place, it is Robert Fagg. 21st, Ben Palmer. 22nd, Stephen Richardson. 23rd, Eckhart von Glan. And then in 24th place, it is our pole sitter for race 2, which is Stephen Burke. And then in 25th place, it's Andrew Whitehead. Alex, quite an entertaining first race. Having quite a few talking points involving the championship contenders, the likes of Chepelewski and Savidovic.
Yeah, we were talking off air. We were a little surprised that Chepelewski tried to go for a move that you could say was perhaps a little bit aggressive in some sense. Thought he might have had the room from Katz on lap 2 there, but it's a long race to go and this huge draftway section. So yeah, we were a little bit surprised there. Katz got away with it. Was very fortunate a couple of times actually in that race. But yeah, Savidovic looked like he'd done a great job in recovering from not qualifying, or just to get caught up in that accident that was unfortunately off camera. But it's affected him quite a bit. Championship lead's been reduced due to that as well. So let's see what happens in this race. I mean, Speedway has got his work cut out again now, so he's got to come all the way back through. He's not quite as far back as he was last time, so I dare say we could see him inside that top 10 by the end of the race.
Of course, to get 100 points to a win in this championship, and with Savidovic finishing all the way down in, as I look at my time screens, he finished in 29th place, and he finished only one lap down, so a thing that does make him a classified finisher. His points deficit will be around about 100 points or so, I think, after this first race of the evening. So starting 29th place, we'll see what we'll be able to do in the second one, and I'm sure there's going to be a bit more action in this second race as well. We didn't see a safety car. However, at the end of lap 3, Alex, we did see the contact between Stelian Chepelevsky and Andreas Katz. So those two championship contenders go right at it at the beginning, and not really what we were expecting at the start either.
No, not at all. And I think probably all those top drivers will just take a moment and just think about that, and might see a bit more of a conservative race from them, which in turn we'll see some of the others perhaps having a little go at trying to get past those as well. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting second race. I think it always is. We always see different sorts of attitudes out there in this second race, and hard to say where we're exactly going to be with it, but I think it could be a pretty tasty race at this reverse grid.
That race win was Andreas Katz's 4th win of the season, and that brings him level with Wojciech Savidovic on the most wins for the season so far. Other drivers to take a win in the championship this season: 3 wins for Jamie Rushworth and a victory for Simon Field, a victory also for Ellis Stevens, Pete Newman, Ben Palmer, and 3 wins for Sebastian Jabrad. Once again, another nightmare of a race, Alex, and as we were saying off air, if there's any trouble that unfolds on the racetrack, usually he's the one that's involved in it.
Yeah, it's just been the way of his season at the moment. Very unfortunate for him. I don't think anyone doubts how quick he is out there. So, like I say, 3 wins, and definitely a driver that's going to be there at the end of the season. But he's certainly going to need a little bit more luck in the final sort of showdown championship if he's going to compete with the guys at the front, because he's not had any at the moment.
Well, we're just under 2 minutes away from going down to the grid. Let's run you through the starting lineup for this second race of the evening. 24 cars reversed as Wojciech Savidovic goes top of the pile in the warm-up session. On pole position, it is Stephen Burke for Pete Newman Media. Then second place on the grid, it is Eckhart von Glan with Steve Richardson in 3rd place. So Powermax 2nd and 3rd. Ben Palmer, he got involved in a bit of contact with Scott Malcolm. That was another of the talking points from the first race. He'll be starting 4th on the grid with Robert Fagg in 5th. Stelian Chepelevsky involved in that lap 3 contact with Andreas Katz. He's starting 6th. But John Roberts in 7th. Stanisław Mizuzov in 8th. Lee Berridge in 9th. Sebastian Joe rounds out the top 10. 11th is Jay Wright. 12th Richard Wild. 13th Robert Plumley. 14th Mark Johnston. 15th is Pete Newman with Ellis Stevenson 16th. 17th Laura Bond. 18th Daniel Kraft. 19th Alex Smolensky, 20th Daniel Hunt, 21st Simon Field, David Baker 22nd, 23rd Jamie Rushworth, and in 24th place is our race 1 winner Andreas Katz. 25th is Andrew Whitehead, Julian Janowski is in 26th place, 27th it is Paul Smith, Richard Gore in 28th, Wojciech Savidovic 29th, and then 30th is Robert Graham, 31st Steve Walker, 32nd Colin Steele, 33rd Martin Brandon, 34th Scott Malcolm, 35th Lee Thompson, 36th Steve Hefford, and in 37th place it is Tim Mawson. So when you look at that starting grid, Alex, you can tell the Apex Racing TV didn't have the best of first races, and that's going to affect their team's championship.
Yeah, they've been slowly working their way up through the order. They were right at the bottom at the start of the season and moved themselves up to let me just check the standings now because I don't want to get that wrong. But I think it was like 6th place, wasn't it? So yeah, they were up to 6th place. So, but that's not going to have done them any good. Pete Newman Media had a good race that one, so I dare say they've jumped back ahead of them again. So it's close in that mid area, and I think there's a lot of teams out there, PowerMat, Oculus, Pete Newman Media, all feel like they might have a chance to get in and amongst those top 3 spots. GT Omega are only a couple hundred points ahead of those that sort of group. So it's important for all the teams to have a good one there. But Apex with a shocker.
Of course, $10,000 on offer in the BSRTC Pro Series. $4,000 goes to first place in the team's championship. So that's what all of the teams will be vying over. Also in the Drivers' Championship, first in the Drivers' Championship will receive $1,000 with $300 going to second in the Drivers' Championship and $200 for second place. Well, yeah, $200 for third place in the Drivers' Championship. So that money's still on offer, and of course the championship is still a long way from being decided. We'll be finishing at the Daytona International Speedway in December. Stephen Burke then taking his spot at the front of the grid. And once again, I do believe we'll be having a rolling start for this second race of the evening. Alex, I know I asked you at the beginning of the first race if you could call the race 1 victory, but I think it's going to be even harder to call the second one.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be difficult, but I think Stellion's got a great opportunity. Actually, quite close to the front there. Should be able to work his way through the pack pretty quickly. Steve Burke's very quick as well, but I think Stellion definitely got the pace, and he'll have the bit between his teeth to get this one. Yeah, let's see how it plays out. Really, it's all going to be about these first 2 laps, though. This time last season is where we saw a massive pile up into turn 1, I believe it was. So yeah, let's hope that we don't see the same again.
Working their way around then on the pace lap for this race 20 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Stephen Burke on the pole with Eckhart von Glan alongside him. We saw some overtaking going into this right-hander, Alex, and I didn't really expect it to be an overtaking spot on the racetrack, but we did see some pretty good racing around this area in race 1.
Yeah, it tends to really come from when they've been fighting side by side in the previous sort of first couple of corners, and yeah, there's some good racing there. It looks like people seem to be struggling with the rears, having a little weave around, just trying to build some pressure up in those rear tyres so that that sort of medium speed first corner isn't so treacherous, but yeah, it doesn't look like Steve's entirely happy with how the car's handling out there right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how Stephen Burke judges the start this time, because Stelin Chepelevsky didn't really get going when the green lights went on last time around.
No, sat there, it was green for, as far as we could see, almost a couple of seconds before he put his foot down. So yeah, I'm sure Stephen will be on the case, and dare say he'll want to try and get a jump into turn 1 so we can be just a little bit cautious. Power Max look like they've got a strong showing. You can see you know, 2 cars in the first couple of rows there, so they've got a good opportunity as well to score a lot of points and maybe cash up GT Omega in this race.
So here we go then. Stephen Burke starting to back the field up, and in a few moments' time the pace car will head to pit road, and we'll be getting ready for another 17-lap race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 12 corners, 2.25 miles in full. We race around the 1.5 oval, and we race on the road course as well. And a few temperatures for you. It is 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and the track temperature 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind 6 miles an hour. So yeah, getting ready to go then. Stephen Burke just giving himself a bit of an advantage over second place Eckhart von Glan, but the safety car is now off, and Stephen Burke goes now, so he leaves the field behind, and race 20 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship is underway. And look at Ben Palmer, he's already going for it as we come across the line, and he's going to be down the inside of Steve Richardson into turn 1. Keep it cool, and he does. So Ben Palmer through into 3rd place. 2nd place is still Eckhart von Glan. Look at Stelin Chepelevsky, he's already going for it as we head in towards turn number 3. Down the inside he goes, and the GT Omega car is now up into 3rd place. So good stuff from Chepelevsky, and he's now already setting his sights up to Eckhart von Glan as there's contact in the back between the OGR cars, and that's Daniel Kraft on the grass there as we head down this short chute into the right-hander. But I think everyone has still been able to get through the first few corners safely, Alex, but Stephen Burke is still the race leader.
Yeah, I just had a little look back. You're right, it was Kraft, but he was able to hold on, get the car back on, pointing in the right direction without any real issues there, and he lost a couple of places, but nothing major. But yeah, with the whole pack at the moment, pretty much nip and tuck. Just having a look at Jay Wright, he's got Daniel Hunt closing in on him a bit further back. Lots of side-by-side action right now as well. Chepelevsky on von Glan. This is very reminiscent of what happened in the first race, and Chepelevsky decides he's not going to stick his nose in there this time, and Ben Palmer perhaps can capitalise on that. Definitely he's got a run. Is he going to dart out and look at the inside of turn 2? He decides not to.
Stelin Chepelevsky goes deep in towards the first of those 2 right-handers, and it was amazing how late on the brakes they were, because they almost ran into the back of Stephen Burke as they came across the line. And in the background, once again, Daniel Kraft, he seems to be side by side with someone every single time, and he's now through past Mark Johnston into 11th place, but will he keep it on the track? And oh, Johnston into the side of Daniel Kraft. Johnston has to get out of that, and now he's going to lose a place to Stanimir Zuzov as well. Be careful of not hitting the catch fence, Mark. And he is, so he stays in 12th place, but he is on the high line as we head onto the banking. More further at the front though. 1 tenth of a second between Stelian Chepelevsky and Eckhard von Glan. The battle for second is on, and as we head into NASCAR turn 3, it's a GT Omega car versus the Power Max car, and Ben Palmer just doesn't know where to go as we head through turn 4 and onto the front straight. Be careful guys, across the line. Are we going to go free abreast? Ben Palmer's thinking about it, but Stelian Chepelevsky surely has got the line into turn 1. And he has. So Stelian Chepelevsky up into second place. Alex, good move from him.
Yeah, Robert Fagg having a battle with Sebastian Job as well. Fagg holding on to that one through turn 2 and 3. Gets a little bit of a clip, or maybe that was just a bit of a server jump there, but all of a sudden he's putting a lot of pressure on Ben Palmer as well right now.
Palmer down the inside of Von Glan as well. Oh, bit of contact there between the Power Max car and the Engine North Direct car. Von Glan just holding on for his third place. Palmer's going to try and get the cut back on the exit though. There's not enough room, and they hit each other just a little bit, and that's going to allow Rob Fagg surely to have the advantage as we head onto the banking. He's going to have superior straight line speed, and so is Sebastian Job. I think those two might be able to get Ben Palmer and Eckhard von Glan. Von Glan taking the defensive line. Ben Palmer always taking him off as well. That's all over the place. 3 abreast, nearly 4 as we head. Oh no, he hits Sebastian Job. Job manages to just stay on the island. How did he not spin off there? But he's just able to hold on to 5th place, and Ben Palmer's now going to try and get past Eckhard von Glan as we come across the straight and in towards turn 1. Ben Palmer down the inside, he's into 3rd place. But how did we avoid disaster there, Alex?
Yeah, I've no idea actually. I thought for sure it was going to be curtains for most of those drivers right there, but yeah, somehow they managed to survive. Robert Fagg probably lost out the most there. He's still battling with Richard Wild quite heavily. Wild seems to be blinking all over the place at the moment on the server, so very distracting for Rob, but not too much he can do about that right now. Just has to focus on his lines and hope for the best.
Sebastian Job now shaping up Eckhard von Glan in the battle for 4th place as we head onto the banking once again. What a crazy lap 3 that was. We're now on lap 4 of 17, and Sebastian Job has surely got a good run now. Apex Racing TV seems to be having a bit of a better second race as he heads down the NASCAR back straight and in towards NASCAR turn 3. Job on the outside in the red and black Apex Racing TV car with Eckhard von Glan now behind in the Power Max car. So that was pretty easy for Sebastian Job. It looks like he's got a very good setup underneath him to have that good of a straight line speed without having to use the slipstream there, Alex.
Yeah, straight through. Great. Yeah, like you say, just a good setup on that. Must be going really low on the wing there, just to ensure that he's got that sort of speed advantage. And Von Glan now under pressure from Wild. Chepelevsky closing in on the back of Stephen Burke as well. These two running away with it at the moment, 2.4 seconds ahead of Ben Palmer.
Lap times last time around at the front of the pack. Stephen Burke 109.6, Stelian Chepelevsky 108.9. So a bit of a difference there. Of course, Stelian Chepelevsky has the help of the slipstream. It's going to be interesting to see if Chepelevsky can get the move done this time around. He is close enough to use the slipstream to his advantage. It's all about the setup and where he's got good straight line speed underneath him in his Kia Optima. Heading down the back straight into NASCAR 3. Stephen Burke doesn't see the need to defend. Chepelevsky down the inside into NASCAR turn 3. They're going to go side by side, but I think Chepelevsky has the speed. Stephen Burke trying to do a bit of NASCAR style side drafting there as we head off of turn 4. Is Stephen Burke going to be late on the brakes and try and hang it out round the outside in towards turn 1? They go, and Chepelevsky just holds on to the lead, but Stephen Burke still not giving up. Round the outside of turn 2, Stephen Burke in the Pete Nivens media car, I think is going to snatch the lead back from Stelian Chepelevsky, and he does as he heads into turn 3, and a bit of a nudge there from Chepelevsky. Stephen Burke maintains his lead for now as Ben Palmer gets way out of shape through turn 4 and is now into the clutches of Richard Wild as we head in towards the right-hander. Close battles unfolding here. Richard Wild round the outside, but I think Ben Palmer should hold on to his 5th place.
I want to have a quick look to see what happened to Ben Palmer, because I thought he was quite comfortably in 3rd place. But no, it wasn't. Seb just got a run on him. That's all it was, just a bit of slipstream. I thought actually they were separated by more than that. So yeah, that Apex car, like I said, very quick and straight line, just straight past Palmer. Just having a little look at that. So yeah, Seem to be Seb seems to be able to get past people fairly confidently. What I have done is I've missed, Adam, I missed Chepelewski getting past Stephen Burke. Let me just jump back and just so we can witness that move.
Yeah, Chepelewski getting a good run down the NASCAR back straight, and he was able to do what he couldn't do a lap ago, down the inside into NASCAR 3, and there was nothing that Stephen Burke could do. So Stelling Chepelewski started on pole position in race 1, at a moment of madness at the end of lap 3, but he's now back to the lead here in race number 2. And Sebastian Jobe, I think it won't be too long before I think Sebastian Jobe joins Wojciech Stelling Chepelewski. He seems to be that quick. 1:08.2 his lap time last time around, and I'm sure he's going to try and get Stephen Burke this time around as we head down the NASCAR back straight. Stephen Burke, I think, might just be a sitting duck here because Sebastian Jobe's just going to go to the inside line into NASCAR 3, and that is the speed. That is the speed of the Kia Roxenberg right there by Sebastian Jobe. He just flies by the Pete Media car. Sebastian Jobe through into second place. Let's see what the lap times are as they come across the line. Stelling Chepelewski does a 1:08.8. Sebastian Jobe 1:08.6, 2/10 of a second quicker, and I think he's already starting to make inroads into Stelling Chepelewski, Alex.
Yeah, just managed to jump in time from looking at that replay. Almost pretty much identical overtakes from Chepelewski and Seb there on Steve Burke, but Burke's got 2.5 seconds to Richard Wiles, so he's still in a relatively strong position for a podium finish this race, and podiums all count at the end of the day, and yeah, so here, I think he should be still good for a podium spot here. Just having a little look further back, what other battles? Laura Bond, Ellis Stevens, 0.2 of a second separating those. They're just tucked up behind Zusov right now, and they've got Andreas Katz for company. Katz not being able to make too much over ground. Dan Hunt is just behind John Roberts, just a little bit further back. There's David Baker, Andrew Whitehead. So yeah, some of the drivers that were quick in that first one, not being able to make too much progress. Wojciech Svidovic, our championship leader, all the way down in 28th place. He's at a pit stop, so he's had a disaster. Lee Thompson, top 10 driver of the championship, second race in a row that he's had to retire to the pits as well. He's still out there. Jamie Rushworth has retired as well. So there's a lot going on in this race that we haven't caught.
Katz is off. Katz just went off after a bit of contact with Ellis Stevens, and I was just about to say how this is fantastic for Andreas Katz's championship, but he's now facing the wrong way, and he is down in 24th position. I don't know if we caught that, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just going to look at it back now, actually, side by side with one of the Power Max cars, and we're guessing that was Ellis. Laura side by side, is that with one of the GT Omega cars there, Susov, isn't it? And Katz got great late the brakes actually, but too late because they're just the Power Max car just wasn't expecting him to turn there, just caught his rear end and just sent him spinning, and Katz having to recover. He's down in 25th place right now after that incident.
Jamie Rushworth is in the pits as well, I've just seen, so not a good night for the championship contenders at the moment. However, it is for Stelling Chepelewski, who continues to lead, but only by 0.4 of a second. Lap times last time around, Sebastian Jobe 0.3 of a second quicker than Stelling Chepelewski, and I think this will be the first lap where we'll get to see Sebastian Jobe go wheel to wheel with Stelling Chepelewski in this second race. So coming up on a bit of traffic now, Paul Smith. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way like Scott Malcolm did. However, Scott Malcolm had, I think, problems of his own in the first race. But as we head through this right-hander, Sebastian Jobe closing in on Stelling Chepelewski. GT Omega versus Apex Racing TV through the left-hander and onto the banking. We've got 7.5 laps to go here in the second race of the evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sebastian Jobe 0.5 of a second behind. I think he's just too far away to get anything done. However, it will be interesting to see if he can make any inroads down the back straight. He is in the slipstream. 0.4 of a second the gap is down to 0.4 still as we head through NASCAR 3. Gap down to 0.3 of a second now, and as we head onto the front straight, will he be able to get... No, not close enough. However, he is definitely got a good car underneath him, and I'm sure he'll be battling with Stelling Chepelewski in the coming laps, as we've now got 7 laps to go. Further battles on the racetrack. Let's have a look. 2 tenths of a second.
Yeah, Steve Burke under pressure, actually. I thought he was going to be pretty comfortable, but Richard Wilde absolutely flying. Burke with the 1 minute 10 lap that last time by, lost 2 seconds, so I probably cursed him a little bit there, and all of a sudden he's under a world of pressure out there. Richard Wilde looking very, very racy, wants that podium position. Ben Palmer and Daniel Kraft all driving a little battle, but David Baker right on Zusov actually the moment. Baker going up through, and yeah, that's a great move. That's through what is technically the second half of turn 2, made that move, and Pete Newman having a little look, getting out of shape in the background as well.
Hit there by Ellis Stevens. So Stevens getting involved in a bit of contact here tonight, and as Newman's going to try and nudge it back up the inside, just not close enough to get to Ellis Stevens if he wants to retaliate at all. Meanwhile, back at the front, 3 tenths of a second between Chepelevsky and Job. I think Job's still too far away to get anything done. Runs a bit wide, in fact, through NASCAR turn 4, so no change in the battle up front. However, Richard Wilde is down the inside of Richard Burke. The battle for third is on as we're heading in towards turn number 1. Who's latest on the brakes? It is going to be Richard Wilde, who's now through into 4th, and that's going to allow Ben Palmer to try and get 4th place as well, just not close enough. And Daniel Kraft, I think, has got the superior straight line speed. Is he going to nudge it down the inside into turn 3? Yes, just, and he nudges Ben Palmer out of the way as well. So Daniel Kraft, the big beneficiary from that, he's now through into 5th place with Richard Wilde through into 3rd.
Yeah, just Palmer couldn't capitalise on the fact that Burke had to check up there while Wilde put that move on him, and yeah, all of a sudden he's Burke's new media teammate was able to take full advantage and play the defensive role as well. So in the end, they sort of come out trumps there. So good driving from both those guys.
Job's close now, and he's going to look down the inside. Is there? Oh, Job battling for the lead then. Job through into the race lead, and what other battles are going on, Alex?
Oh, straight back through. Here comes Chepelevsky. He's not giving up on that. Seb just runs a little bit high, and Chepelevsky gets the undercut there as well.
Will Job try and undercut him through turn 1? He's thinking about it, just not close enough to get it done. So Stelin Chepelevsky continues to hold on to his first place for now. We've got 5 laps to go in this enthralling second race of the evening here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That right-hander so hard to get a good exit out of. Stelin Chepelevsky just putting 2 wheels into the grass there as we head through that right-hander, now into the 2 right-handers here. This is all about trying to get the best possible run onto the NASCAR banking, which Sebastian Job was able to do last time around. He just wasn't able to hold on to it through the left-hander, and he needs to be careful, Job. He doesn't want to run too far out wide, otherwise he will be in that catch fencing. And if anything, he's a bit further back than he was last time around. It'll be interesting to see if the slipstream can work in his favour as we head down the back straight and in towards NASCAR turn 3. He's closing on him. He is closing on him. The gap down to 1/10 of a second. He's going to try and go for the high line, and he's now going to switch back to the inside so he can get a good run off NASCAR turn 4. Is he going to try and get it done into the first corner? We're going to come across the line now. Is he going to lunge for it? Hard on the brakes. No, he doesn't. However, he was a bit further back that time around, Sebastian Job. I think he has got the speed in his car to get the lead, though. Yeah,
I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a patient game here now working, because you have to think you're on the high ground if you're in second place, just 0.3 of a second behind. But bit of a gamble to play, because if Stellian just pulls out an amazing first couple of sectors and you fall back to half a second, there's just no way you're going to be able to get a move done. So I'm not sure whether Seb's going to play the patient game and try and do it on the last lap, or if he's going to try and get ahead a little bit earlier and just play the defensive role in the in that last lap. It's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Ben Palmer as well, still very close to Dan Kraft, I think, between those two. So yeah, good couple of little battles out on track at the moment.
Sebastian Job then, what can he do this time around? Down the inside, he's going to try and get it done, but I think Stelin Chepelevsky's just clear, and yeah, he will be able to hold on once again. I thought Sebastian Job was going to get the move done. Down the front straight we go, in towards turn number 1, across the line, 3 laps to go, still not close enough. I think you're right there, Alex. I think he's starting just to eye up when it's right to make his move. And he's having a look already, actually, down in towards turn 3. Down the inside goes Sebastian Job. He's going to run wide, surely. Stelin Chepelevsky going to lunge it back up the inside. They're going to hit each other. Job runs into the grass, and Stelin Chepelevsky can't get the lead back. So Sebastian Job takes the lead in with just 2.5 laps to go here, and well, we didn't really see that coming, Alex.
No, we were looking and expecting some sort of move on the straightaway. Let's see how quick that GT Omega car is. Both drivers were able to get past Burke earlier on like he was standing still, so I think they're both very, very fast, similar sort of wing angle. So now we'll just see what the GT Omega car's got. He's already closing in as well. That's just down to 0.2 of a second. That make that a 10th. So I definitely think this could go anyway.
Through NASCAR turn 3 and NASCAR turn 4, Chepelevsky's just closing in on him, but he's got nowhere to go. He's found an opening, Joby's there, and he cuts across, and it's fantastic. 2 laps to go, penultimate lap in the second race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and Stalin Chepelevsky versus Sebastian Job. Great battle unfolding between that pair there. 3rd place Richard Wild, 4th Stephen Burke, 5th is Daniel Kraft, 6th it is Ben Palmer, who's now battling with Daniel Kraft. The two of them side by side through turn 1 and through turn 2. Kraft on the outside in the blue and pink Pinot Media car. He's got the inside line. Ben Palmer will try and hang it around the outside, but he's just not able to do that. It's all about trying to get the best possible line onto this short chute, which he does. Daniel Kraft defends the inside line, but look at that, Sebastian. Oh, whoa. Ben Palmer just trying to get the move done there, and he hits Daniel Kraft. So great battle unfolding for 5th place there, Alex.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out that was Richard Wild who had lost it earlier on as well. Let's just have a back what that was. That was a case of he just blinked out of the servo and just got hit from behind, but unfortunately didn't affect anybody else. So yeah, just one of those things. And we'll jump back live with the battle up front. Stellion having a look on the outside this time on Sebastian. Just 1 lap to go. Anything could happen here at the front.
We could have a photo finish in this race. It's happened before. Closest finish in the BSRTC, 0.06 of a second between Wojciech Zawidovic and Adeko Lopez back in Season 5 at Interlagos. So Stalin Chepelevsky's lost a bit of ground, in fact, through turn 1. So he needs to try and work his way back up to the point, up to the back of Sebastian Job. Right now, we're on the final lap of the race, final half a lap, in fact. And Stalin Chepelevsky's just a bit too far back to get anything done, I think. He needs to work his way through perfectly these last few corners on the infield section so we can have any opportunity to get to Sebastian Job. And I think he might just be a bit too far behind. The slipstream's going to have to be incredibly kind to him for him to get anything done. Problem for Daniel Hunt, he's just returned to the pits, but I think Stalin Chepelevsky is too far behind to get the lead, really, Sebastian Job now, Alex.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Sebastian just coming around now. 0.4 of a second it is. I think, yeah, for almost guaranteed he's going to be a little bit too far. Can't even see Chepelevsky on the tight angle that we're looking at the moment for the camera angle. So takes victory here and second race of the night. Great driving, but yeah, Chepelevsky did an awesome race as well.
Chepelevsky in second place, and it looked for a moment like he was going to win it. 3rd for Stephen Burke, he comes across the line. 4th for Daniel Kraft, 5th for Ben Palmer. Great battle between those two. 6th for Laura Bonds. Robert Fagg comes across the line in 7th place. 8th place comes Lee Berridge. 9th it is David Baker.
Further back that we need to jump to, actually. This between Scott Malcolm, Janowski, and someone else involved in that. Oh, they're going to be sideways across the line.
Yeah, and all cars all over the place. Steve Richardson involved there. He rolls over in his Power Max car. Let's try and make sense of what order they came across the line in. Ellis Stevens in 10th, Eckhart Von Glan 11th, Pete Newman 12th, Steve Walker 13th, Richard Gore 14th, Stanimir Zuzov 15th, Steve Hefford 16th, 17th, Andreas Katz 18th, John Roberts 19th, Steve Richardson 20th was Julian Janowski, 21st was Scott Malcolm, 22nd Andrew Whitehead, 23rd Simon Field, 24th Wojciech Zawidovic, so another terrible race for him, 25th Robert Graham, 26th Colin Steele, and then a lap down, 27th Daniel Hunt, 28th Paul Smith, 29th Alex Smolensky, 30th Lee Thompson, another nightmare race for him, 31st Richard Wild, 32nd Jay Wright, 33rd Mark Johnston, 34th Jamie Rushworth, don't know what happened to him, he started 23rd on the grid, 35th Robert Plumley, and 36th it is Martin Brandon. So fantastic race, Alex. 10th on the grid, Sebastian Job started, and he managed to take the win.
Yeah, great race all round, actually. Happy that Burke managed to hold on to 3rd place actually as well, so good drive from him. We knew Chepelevsky was going to be up there from the start. Yes, Sebastian got through the field quite early and was able to. Those two were able to really run away with it, and I think actually them not fighting for a good portion of that race was to give them the freedom to sort of go at it with about 3 or 4 laps to go. So yeah, great driving from those two, and yeah, some strong battles there. And apologies for those that didn't get any airtime whatsoever on that one, but yeah, just such intense battles, sort of in the front 5 spots. We couldn't really jump away.
Let's have a look at the cars then. They're eligible for the reverse grid for the final race, 15 to 26, as always. Sanamizu's on 15th, Steve Hefford's 16th. Andreas Katz, if the reverse grid dice is lucky to him, he could be on pole position for the 3rd and final race. 18th, John Roberts, Steve Richardson 19th, Julian Janowski 20th, 21st, Scott Malcolm 22nd, Andrew Whitehead 23rd, Simon Field 24th, Wojciech Savinovic, if the reverse grid dice does another number 24, he'll be on pole position. Robert Graham in 25th and Colin Steele in 26th. So those are your cars that are eligible for the reverse grid pole. Who's going to be on pole, Alex?
Right, we're just doing our dummy rolls. We've had 2 15s, and I've already forgotten what the first one was. So pole position's going to go to 25th.
And that is brilliant for Wojciech Savinovic. It is Robert Graham on pole, with Wojciech Savinovic 2nd, Simon Field in 3rd, Andrew Whitehead 4th, Scott Malcolm 5th. So Wojciech Savinovic, he's had 2 nightmare races tonight. Happy 3rd time lucky for Wojciech Savinovic, really. He should, hopefully, there I've said it, be able to get that win, possibly in the 3rd race, and salvage what's been a bit of a dreadful night for him, Alex.
Yeah, I think you're right. So you probably still lose points on the rest of the guys. Well, I don't know, because they've not had the best of races. Last one, have they? Cats was down and things like that. So you're right, actually. You might end up sort of in and around the same sort of points scored overall for the night. So yeah, that reverse dice could have just saved Svidovic's night there.
Well, it's definitely not going to affect Jamie Rushworth, who finished 34th in this race, so started 23rd as well. So after a 2nd in race 1, 34th in race 2, so he'll be hoping to try and work his way through any possible carnage that unfolds on the first lap. We haven't had a safety car yet tonight, so that's one thing to watch out for. We're going to step aside for a few moments, and we'll be back in a minute for the 21st race of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Don't go anywhere.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com. Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to BSRTC TV for this race 21 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship, the third and final race of the evening. And let's run you through the starting lineup for this race. On pole position, 25 cars reversed for this final race of the evening, and on pole position it is Robert Graham. But second place, one to watch probably, and one probably your best bet to win, Wojciech Savidovic in second place. Third is Simon Field with Andrew Whitehead in fourth. Scott Malcolm is in fifth place. Julian Janowski in sixth. Seventh it is Steve Richardson. Eighth John Roberts. Ninth Andreas Katz. 10th it is Steve Hefford. 11th it is Stanimir Zuzov. Richard Gore in 12th. Steve Walker in 13th. Pete Newman 14th. And Eckhard von Glen in 15th. Ellis Stevens 16th. 17th David Baker. 18th Lee Berridge. 19th Robert Fagg. 20th Laura Bond, 21st Ben Palmer, 22nd Daniel Crafts, 23rd Stephen Burke, 24th Stelian Chepelevsky, and then in 25th our race 2 winner Sebastian Joe. Alex, we had a fantastic race 2. Race 3, I'm predicting fireworks. However, Wojciech Savidovic starting second on the grid. Surely he's going to be everyone's best bet for this race 3 win.
Yeah, well, where's the bookies? I'll place my bet now because that one definitely looks a lot more guaranteed compared to what we had in the first 2 races. But although I would have got that last one wrong as well, I thought Stellium would have been able to have got through and got up pretty sizable lead before anyone could get out to challenge him. But yeah, Seb got through the traffic really quickly as well. So yeah, let's see what can happen. Who knows really what can happen at the start of this race. But yeah, I definitely think Savidovic should be hands-on favourite for this one.
Yeah, we get to see the big one really, in a sense. We were talking earlier about what happened here last season. We haven't seen as many of the big incidents that we saw at Charlotte Motor Speedway back in Season 8.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised actually. We haven't seen really a big one in the oval section or anything there. I mean, the closest we even got to that was probably that 3-car grouping just as they come across the line, and you know that's to be expected on that final run into the race there. So good driving really from everybody out there. Give a lot of patience, a lot of room being given, and actually just goes to show that this is a great circuit to race on. It's Oh, as we've seen one car, one of the Power Max cars, buried into the catch fence. That's Laura Bond. She was hoping that she won't do that in the race, and probably gutted that we caught that on camera, because yeah, that was just a one-way ticket as soon as she got out wide there. But yeah, just to catch really what I was talking about a moment ago. But it's great to see everybody just giving each other a little bit of room there, and this track actually does make for some great racing, and definitely want to see it back on the schedule for future seasons of the BSRTC.
Well, next week we head to Virginia International Raceway, completely different to Charlotte Road Course. And in fact, I think the last time we went to Virginia International Raceway was one of our first races covering the BSRTC. It's going to be a very different kettle of fish entirely, especially considering that Virginia International Raceway is a purpose-built racetrack compared to Charlotte Road.
Yeah, chalk and cheese, really, completely different. Very tricky track, very narrow, no runoff area whatsoever, straight onto the grass, so we'll lose a lot of time. I expect we'll see a lot of crashes there, not people coming together, but as we see a couple of cars coming together. It's John Roberts, and just getting put into the wall, but yeah, just people running wide onto the grass and then drifting off into the tyre walls, because huge runoff areas, but the grass at BIR just seems to be like ice, so slippery. You get on that, you just seem to fly forever.
Yeah, last time we were at Virginia International Raceway Season 6, Wojciech Savidovic was able to take 2 wins, and then he was on his way to taking his first title in the BSRTC. He'll be starting second in this race. Cars heading down to the grid, and we'll be underway in just a few moments' time. After we head to Virginia International Raceway, we'll head to Okayama, then Alton Park for a team race. The last time we had a team race at Donington Park, and that was quite entertaining as well. Alex, the throwing in the pit stops there, it certainly spiced up the racing at Donington.
Yeah, it made a huge difference, that, and yeah, get the driver swaps in there, and just trying to rack my brains what happened there. You know, a pit stop can make all the difference. I think Apex had, like, what was it, a 20-second lead and lost it completely with the pit stops there, so you got to get them right. So I'm looking forward to see how that all works out. Slightly different track, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Working their way around then, getting ready for the start of race 21 at the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. On the pole position, it is Robert Graham, and we're just working our way through the first few corners now. We saw in race 2 Stephen Burke on the pole position. He was able to get a good start when the lights went green.
Yeah, he was able to get quite a comfortable gap going into turn 1 and was able to be a little bit more cautious than normal, but yeah, Robert Graham's going to need to do the same thing again, really. Going to be very important to get a good start if he's going to hold off Vidovic for any amount of time. But I think yeah, Wojciech's just going to be way too strong for Robert here, and going to need one of the sort of second row cars to get up and get past Vidovic if Robert's going to have any chance of holding on to this this lead for any more than, say, 1 or 2 laps.
Big pace lap, quite a quick pace lap this time around as well, as we head onto the banking. We saw in race 1 Andreas Katz starting on the outside in second place. He was able to take the lead away from Stelian Chepelevsky, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wojciech Savidovic is able to get that lead into turn 1.
Yeah, I think that all stems down to Chepelevsky not going when the green lights came on there, just being a bit late to respond on that. I dare say that Robert's going to just go for it when he wants, and perhaps not going to get caught out by that. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Here we go then, another 17-lap race here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Overcast conditions once again here in North Carolina. In a moment, the safety car will go down onto pit road, and it will be ready to start the race. We'll see what Robert Graham is able to do in the Laser Tools car. We've seen Laser Tools cars causing havoc at the front in race 1 after Scott Malcolm rejoined from the pits and taking out the leaders. Let's see what's going to happen this time around. Here we go. Summerfield getting right onto the back of Robert Graham there. Safety car's off. He's judging the pace. Robert Graham is going and the green light's on. We are underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Savidovic already going for the outside line, but I think he's surely not going to be able to get it done. And Robert Graham is just able to hold on to his lead. So the Laser Tools cars leads through turn 2, but Savidovic is going down the inside already. And Savidovic has got the move done. He's being a bit cautious, the Season 6 champion. Robert Graham going to try and go around the outside as we head down the back straight. And he's still side by side. So great battle for the lead already. Robert Graham round the outside, nearly taken out by Savidovic. You need to be careful on this opening lap, Wojciech. Think about your championship. And down the inside goes Robert Graham. He continues to hold on. And I think as we head out onto the banking, the Laser Tools car will still be in the lead. So great battling by Robert Graham on this opening lap, Alex.
Yeah, and Simon Field looks like we lost Mark Johnson as well, some incident in the first lap there, but Savidovic, interestingly, has got Simon Field right up behind him now as well, so that might mean that he might not have it all his own way in this race. Field with a great start there. And, yeah, as we're just looking at Savidovic just getting ever closer to Graham. Oh, we've got a big one. That's a Laser Tools car there, flipping in the background. I think that's Scott Malcolm. Oh, there's several cars caught up in that. They're all coming onto the track. Surely we need a caution. We've got cars rolling all over the place.
Apex car involved. Still no yellow. Still no yellow. We're still green here, and the organisers still not throwing a safety car. Ellis Stevens over and over. And I think we are still green. We've got cars still stuck on the racetrack. They're all moving away now. No safety car. And we've got another car off on their roof. That's the Laser Tools car. It's Robert Graham. So Robert Graham, he was at the front of the pack. So the race leader's off.
Yeah, let's see if we can. I wonder if you can identify who it was who had the roll while we were watching to find out what happened to Robert. Let's see if we can get a replay of that, because that's massive. It's taken out half of the grid near enough.
Contact Robert Graham was with Simon Field, so battle for the lead.
Yeah, watching that Field straight up the inside through turn 2. Graham just had the most annoying slow motion roll he's ever going to experience. So frustrating that would be, absolutely crazy. And have we figured out what happened on that first lap as well, that we might be able to try and get a replay of that back? Who started that? It was I think it was Scott Malcolm, wasn't it? Let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there. Certainly Scott was involved in it. Right, let's have a look. He looks like he's got Zusov behind him right now. So yeah, just go through the oval section. They're on the back straight. Zusov having a little look on the inside. Scott Malcolm's up top. Oh, Zusov just got into hits the wall. Both cars just tumbling down on the track. Everybody's scrambling to make move, and it was one of the GTO mega cars actually that wow, and yeah, I'm just watching it now. Lee Thompson's just gone flying. That's 3 races out of 3 that's going. I think Sebastian also got caught up in that as well, so just a disaster for the Apex guys this race.
When we were looking at the replay of Robert Graham going over, did we see the fact that Wojciech Savidovic and Simon Field hit each other and went both off?
No, we missed that. I stayed with Robert and saw
Yeah, so that was another big incident that happened. So Wojciech Savidovic and Simon Field are out of this. Andrew Whitehead is now the race leader. Actually, no, it isn't. I apologise. It's Pete Newman who is now at the front of the field in this third and final race. Don't know how that happened. He was third as they came across the line, but he is now leading. So Pete Newman leading. Andrew Whitehead is in second.
Just watching that now, yeah. So, poor Speedway. Like you say, they some sort of weird netcode. They were inside each other, and Speedway has been launched over the other side of the Armco. He's had to drive down the Armco. Oh, and he's bouncing all over the place, and he's recovered back on circuit and taken out another driver there. That was one of his engine oil direct teammates as well there. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of strong words said in this race, and I'm running down to the bookies to try and get my money back, because Speedway is not going to win this one. His car's in a right state.
Yeah, I think you should have cashed out on lap number 1, really, Alex, as we head through the double right-hander of Andrew Whitehead side by side with Andreas Katz. Katz trying to have a good race after the second race, which had a bit of contact with Ellis Stevens, and Whitehead just holding on in his Engine Oils Direct car. And Katz better be careful, because John Roberts in the other Engine Oils Direct car wants that third place as well. Continuing to lead, 2 seconds the gap between him and Andrew Whitehead in second place as they head onto the banking. 5 laps into this 17-lap race, and here comes Katz. He's surely got a good run on Whitehead. It'll be interesting to see what defence Whitehead puts up through NASCAR turn 2 and onto the back straight. Whitehead on the outside line with Katz on the inside. Oculus versus Engine Oils Directs into turn 3, and I'm sure that Katz has got the position gained, and he has. So Andreas Katz through into second place. It's going to be interesting to see if he can live up with the pace of Pete Newman as they come across the line now onto lap 6. Other battles unfolding on the racetrack. Jamie Rushworth battling with Stanimir Zuzov. Power Max versus ET Omega. Will Rushworth trying to have a look down the inside in turn 1. He's thinking about it. Is there enough space for him to get the move done? Just not enough space. So he still remains in 9th place. However, he has got to set sight on Stanimir Zuzov. Will he have a look down the inside into turn 3? No. So Rushworth, after starting in 34th place, is up into 9th. So good race from him. He managed to avoid that big contact at the start.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't Zuzov that was caught up in the other GT Omega car. I couldn't quite tell who it was, but it was one of his teammates there that was that was caught up in that first lap crash. But yeah, not good. Just having a look at the amount of people that have been in the pits in this race. You've got Daniel Hunt, Svidovic, Ben Palmer, Laura Bond, Dan Kraft, Paul Smith, Julian Janowski, Scott Malcolm, Eckhart Von Glan, Ellis Stevens, Lee Berry, Sebastian Jobe, Lee Thompson, Simon Field, Robert Graham, Rob Fagg and Mark Johnston all had to pit involved in one incident or another. That is just crazy.
Battle for 8th continues. That's quite amazing the amount of cars that had to make a pit stop. Jamie Rushworth side by side with Zuzov into turn 1, and Zuzov going to try and go around the outside of Jamie Rushworth, but Rushworth's got the inside line and he's through. And there goes Chepalevsky. Wow, Chepalevsky opportunistic there. He's through into 9th place, and I think Zuzov will have to get out of that, and that's going to allow Steve Walker to close in and try and get 10th place as well as we head down this short shoot. David Baker closing in on 6th place. Steve Richardson. Richardson was very slow all of a sudden, and there's a bit of smoke kicked up, and that's because John Roberts is through into 3rd ahead of Steve Hefford, who's now in 4th, and Andrew Whitehead down to 5th. So a change in positions there, and also up at the front, 0.3 of a second between Andreas Katz and Pete Newman. So Katz has managed to reel in Newman this time around. It was 1 second or so at the line. Yeah, 0.9 of a second last time they crossed the start-finish line, but Katz is now right with him. Let's see if Katz can get the move done straight away through NASCAR turn 3 and NASCAR turn 4 onto the front straight. He's going to look to the inside, Katz. He has got the inside line, and will he be late on the brakes to get the lead? He is late on the brakes, and he takes the lead on lap number 8. Andreas Katz to the lead. That was very quick work there by Andreas Katz, Alex.
Yeah, he's had a lot of pace. He had a lot of pace in that first race as well, and Pete Newman struggled in qualifying. Wasn't able to really set a very good time. So the team manager there at Pete Newman Media, not entirely comfortable, but still lapping decent enough pace out there right now. Still pulling away from John Roberts behind him, and a little battle going on actually, just further back that we'll talk about. Andrew Whitehead and Steve Hefford as well, exchanging positions as well. And it's very close between Baker, Rushworth, back in 5th and 6th place, 6th and 7th place as well. So, but yeah, I would think Pete Newman should be in a strong position. Just needs to try and stay in Katz's draft, and you never know what can happen. Might not have the overall pace in the middle of the circuit, but if he's going to use that draft to its full effect, he should be able to hold on and maybe have a late charge at the end. You can just see he was 0.8 of a second back before he joined the start-finish, or the oval section as it was.
Hefford into the pits. Don't know what happened there, but Steve Hefford in the pits.
Yeah, not sure why that is. Doesn't look like there's any damage, but he's in. He's in the place. John Roberts up into 3rd. Andrew Whitehead in the 4th. He's pretty much on his own, but I think before long Rushworth and Baker are going to be on his tail. They're having a little battle. Rushworth did manage to get past the volatile element car on the oval section that last time by.
So another car heading to pit road in this third and final race. Stelian Chepelevsky all over the back of David Baker. He's forcing Baker to go on the defensive through that left-hander. That's surely going to give Chepelevsky the straight line speed he needs as we head through this left-hander and onto the banking. Volatile element versus GT Omega. We've got 8.5 laps to go. Andreas Katz continues to lead, 0.9 of a second over Speedway as we head down the back straight. Here comes Chepelevsky. The speed of the GT Omega car versus Volatile Element, and Stelian Chepelevsky going to go to the high line here in NASCAR Turn 3. And Baker shoves him wide, and Chepelevsky has to get on the brakes there in his Kia Optima, and that's now forced him to drop back from David Baker. So good racing there from David Baker. Good spatial awareness in his Kia Optima, and he was able to show Stelian Chepelevsky the way through that part of the course.
Yeah, I think Stelian just didn't want to take any risks there. He can still score relatively well this week. He's had a good second place, and he's in top 10 right now. So thinking of the big picture, I think Stelian there, it looked like that was just a bit of a safety reaction rather than anything David did, I think, to be honest.
Rushworth closing in on Whitehead then last time around. Rushworth 108.9 compared to 110.5 for Andrew Whitehead. So surely Rushworth has got the bit between his teeth now in the Powermax car as we head onto the banking. Whitehead is in fourth, but I don't think he's going to be there for very much longer as we head down the back straight out of NASCAR 2. He's closing. Gap continuing to go down. Rushworth is going to go to the inside line. Is there enough room for him to do so? No, and he's not close enough. It's all about the exit off of NASCAR Turn 4 and into Turn 1. Still not close enough. He's got the inside line now, and he goes down the inside. Good move there from Rushworth, but Whitehead's good on the brakes. Side by side, a bit of rubbing there between the two Kia Optimas. Whitehead round the outside. Rushworth on the outside now for the corner. Whitehead's going to shove it down the inside. Side by side still. David Baker watching this, waiting for these two to kiss each other. And as we head in towards as we head down the short chute and into this right-hander, Whitehead on the inside, but Rushworth's just able to sweep across in front. Rushworth now up into fourth place, and I'm sure David Baker set his sights on fifth now.
Yeah, Whitehead did his absolute best to hold on to that, and for the Jamie very wide. I thought for a moment he was going into the catch fence there, but manages to duck it back in before running there. Stelian looks like he's more likely to make a move on Baker, literally pushing him around the oval section right now. He's going to go to the high line, and we could end up seeing wide here as they both close in on Andrew Whitehead's engine oil direct car ahead.
Whitehead doesn't really know where to go, and they all slot in behind each other. Baker's got the inside line now, and Chepelevsky might try and go down the inside of all three of them. Three abreast as they come across the line. Baker through into fifth, and Stelian Chepelevsky surely is going to get the better of Whitehead in towards turn 1. They're still side by side, the GT Omega and Engine Oil's direct car, but Chepelevsky surely has got it done. So Chepelevsky into 6th. Whitehead down the inside. Oh, that's close. And Chepelevsky has to hold on to 6th. So Baker into 5th. He can now chase after Rushworth. So Whitehead down to 7th now.
Just looking at the front, it appears now that Andreas Katz has got himself 1.7 second lead, so he's pulling away quite comfortably. Smolensky just 2/10ths of a second behind Steve Richardson. He's going to perhaps have a little run on Steve, see if he can get him this lap. 6 laps to go. This race is ticking by. The last race caught me out by surprise when we were on the final lap, but here comes Smolensky straight up the inside. Richardson doesn't even fight it, just lets him have that, so good strong result still for Richardson. He's in a top 10 position, so happy with that result, I think, if he can hold on to that. But yeah, Smolensky through pretty much unchallenged.
Two former teammates, of course, back in the Elite Martini days in the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. Chepelevsky was a little bit wide for turn 1.
Rob Plumley side by side with Stephen Burke. Stephen Burke not having such a good race this time, 14th place. Can't seem to make his way through there, and yeah, Rob's had a bit of a shocker as well this race, so just wants to try and hold on to this position, I'm sure. Oh, it's the side by side, and yeah, Rob's just sort of pushes Burke out wide there, and Burke actually sensibly just sort of checks up a little bit and just makes sure that he doesn't run it out wide. Too many cars behind him, easy for him to lose a couple of places. Jay Wright actually looking very racy, he's closing in on these guys as well.
Battle for 13th then continues between Robert Plumley and Stephen Burke. Closest battle on track is also for 5th place between David Baker and Stelian Shepelevsky. 1/10 of a second between them through NASCAR 4 as they come across the line now, and they're coming up on Rushworth, who's battling with Roberts. This is all not going to end well as we head in towards turn 1, and Baker down the inside of Rushworth, not close enough. Shepelevsky trying to go around the outside of Baker, and there is no room there either. So Shepelevsky continues to be in 6th place. However, Rushworth has definitely got his sights set on a podium here. He took 2nd place, I think, in race 1 earlier tonight, and now he wants another podium. So here we go in towards the right-hander. Not close enough to get anything done yet on John Roberts. Surely it's going to be all about the banking, as I saw tyre smoke at the back of the shot, and I think that was Steve Richardson trying to get past Alex Malensky. But still, battle for 3rd, and Rushworth round the outside of Roberts, nearly in the grass, and he's going to be side by side as they head onto the banking. And with these two going side by side, it's only going to be a matter of time before David Baker and Stelian Shepelevsky arrive, and here they come onto the back straight. It could be 4 wide here, Alex, and I think that's what we're going to go for. 2 by 2 down the back straight in towards turn 3, and Shepelevsky's going for both of them. Oh no, and they all managed to just hold on. How did they not hit each other? Fantastic racing here in the BSRTC. Down the front straight, and Shepelevsky through into 3rd place. I thought that was Rushworth's 3rd place. Into turn 1, Rushworth can't get past Roberts still. Roberts round the outside of Shepelevsky now. As we head through turn 2, Rushworth still in 5th place. Roberts can't go down the inside though. Shepelevsky slams the door in his face. Rushworth round the outside and through this right-hander section of the racetrack. They hit each other, and now David Baker is now going to go down the inside of Rushworth. So Rushworth, who looked like he was going to get 3rd, Alex, is now down to 6th.
Yeah, how quickly it can change there. Baker was perhaps the most sensible of all those drivers in that little instant. You see how much he dropped back. He just expected carnage to unfold there. Wise head on those shoulders there for David Baker. But I think that was just a server glitch there. I just saw some smoke. Now he's in a strong position, just topped up behind John Roberts. 5th place. Stellian's flown away on this lap. He's already 1.2 seconds clear of this battle, so just goes to show the pace he's got out there. Baker can't quite get to the low line. Jamie's bleeding up wide, has to get massively out of it to avoid hitting the wall. David Baker up the inside of John Roberts is going to have the inside line for turn 1.
And he should be through.
Oh, he's able to carry a bit more speed in there. John Roberts not quite run out into the wall, but carries a lot of speed. Oh, the contact from all 3 of them there. It looked like Baker made a late defensive move from Rushworth there, and ended up just tagging John, but John survives. Rushworth stays in Rushworth up to 5th position, and Baker down to 7th.
Once again, how quickly it can change. David Baker was battling with Stelian Shepelevsky.
Making contact with Steve Richardson a little further back as well. That's for 11th and 13th place. Another close battle out there. Sorry, Adam. 1/10 of a second separating Daniel Craft and Laura Bond as well. So Pinion Media and Power Max cars having battles up and down this field.
Final lap of the race, and it's 1/10 of a second between Baker and Whitehead side by side through NASCAR turn 3, and that surely is David Baker through into 6th place. That's another done deal. But Laura Bond, where is that battle? That is unfolding for, where is that on my timing screen? Laura Bond, 22nd. They're heading onto the banking now. So Laura Bond versus Daniel Kraft. Has she got a good enough run to try and get to the Pete Newman media car as we head down the front straight? Also battle unfolding between Wojciech Savidovic and Martin Brandon. But let's see if Laura Bond can get it done into turn 3. I think she's just too far away to get anything done at the moment. So yeah, and I think there's been a problem. Pete Newman seems to be blinking out on my timing screen. I think he's still in 2nd place, 5.2 seconds behind Andreas Katz. As in fact, Katz is now coming through NASCAR turn 3. That's how far ahead he is. Through the final few corners, and race 21 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship will go to Andreas Katz, a commanding victory there by the season 3 champion. He takes a checkered flag. Second place goes to Pete Newman, so fantastic job from him after having a bit of a bad qualifying. Third for Stelian Chepolevsky, 15 seconds behind the race leader. I think it's been a pretty good night for him in terms of the championship. He takes third place.
Fourth.
Yep, John Roberts just ahead of Jamie Rushworth. So a fantastic race from John Roberts. We don't usually talk about him here in the BSRTC, but he managed to take a 4th place, best of the rest. 5th place, Jamie Rushworth. 6th.
Oh, look at this. This is crazy close. Jay Wright, Steve Burke, 4 cars just battling it out there, and yeah, we'll have to see the final standings just to work out who they're. Martin Brandon and Ben Palmer. Very, very close. Brandon trying to get it up the line, but can't quite get there.
Smolensky managed to get 7th at the line, and Whitehead in 8th. Richard Wild in 9th. 10th was Steve Walker. 11th was Steve Richardson. 12th Zuzov. 13th Plumley. 14th Jay Wright. 15th Stephen Burke. 16th Daniel Hunt. 17th Wojciech Savidovic after starting 2nd on the grid. 18th Ben Palmer. 19th Martin Brandon. And in 20th place it is Daniel Kraft. 21st Laura Bond. And then the cars on back all a lap or more down. 22nd Colin Steele. 23rd Paul Smith. 24th Julian Janowski. 25th Sebastian Jobe. 26th Ellis Stevens. 27th Scott Malcolm. 28th Richard Gore. 29th Lee Thompson. 30th Steve Hefford. 31st Simon Field. 32nd Eckhart von Glan. 33rd Lee Berridge. 34th Robert Graham, who started on the pole. 35th Rob Fagg. And then 36th it is Mark Johnston. Well, Alex, we've been on ovals for the past 2 weeks, and I think 6 brilliant races.
Yeah, we've had some great races there actually out front there. We'll have to ignore the huge wreck. Perhaps should have been a caution. Not sure why that didn't come out. Maybe for whatever reason they were disabled by mistake and we couldn't get one out. But yeah, very unfortunate. Really needed it there. That took out basically half the field as well. Just that massive list I was calling out at the start of the race. Just crazy. But yeah, unfortunate for that. But afterwards, you know, we had some great battles out front as well, and you know, Katz was very, very quick today. Showed that. Couple of really strong results for him, and you know, he'll be delighted with that. Svidovic, just a week to forget. I'm pretty sure Katz will take the lead in the championship after today's points tally. So we'll have to wait and see for next week once they get updated. But it's going to be very, very close at the top of the championship for sure.
It is a very tough championship indeed. Next week we head to Virginia International Raceway. 3 races there, completely different racetrack to this, of course, with all the runoff areas, grass and tyre barriers and undulating circuit as well. So it's going to be very tough for these BSRTC cars to set up. Alex, Virginia International Raceway next week, I'm sure we'll see Wojciech Savidovic bouncing back. He did take 2 wins there last time we were there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you say, I remember last time we were there, he was so quick. He got pole position, didn't he, as well? So, just that was really where he came into his own, I think, in the season 6 championship. So I expect him to be very, very strong, I have to say.
We can have a look and see if we can get into. Let's wrap it up then. This is being races 19, 20 and 21 at the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We will see you at Virginia International Raceway in a week's time. Will Andrew be back, Alex? Will Andrew be back for this one, or will he be on a plane back from New York at this time?
Yeah, he might be jetting back. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think he said he was going to miss a couple of weeks, didn't he? So yeah, he'll miss VIR, but he'll be back for the next one.
Okay. For me and Alex, it's a very good night here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll see you at Virginia International Raceway next week.